So at the same time, I'm catching up on the news. I was actually ahead of the news. Kind of strange. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. But love it or hate it, the Evercade, they have some new stuff coming out that I find very intriguing. They're Giga carts, right? And they put this article out a few hours ago. I just woke up. I don't know how apparent it is, but I received a message from somebody like, "Hey, did you see this?" And there was a link to a cartridge on Amazon, so I shared the link out. And now the link has the listing has been removed from Amazon, but it's very interesting what they're doing here. But these Giga carts, right? I'm not going to read this whole thing. If you want to go to Evercade's blog, you could read it. But essentially, it's like, hey, these Giga carts, they're going to cost a little bit more, about $5 more per cart. But it almost seems like a Wild West on these carts anyway, because a lot of them sell out and then they're like listed at like this price anyway, or $30. I don't know. But these new ones, their retail price is supposed to be $25 in the US, whereas normal carts are $20. And the reason is because they're going to have like mostly original release CD based games. So like PS1 would be one of the most obvious examples. And those do require a lot more space than 2D Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy indie titles that we've grown accustomed to seeing on the Evercade. So we've had PS1 games in the past. I think one of the Pico collections had PS1 game. A couple of them have in the past, but just like one game with a handful of 2D games, so they didn't need like a lot of space. But yeah, that's the whole point. Like they got this new little indicator Giga cart that's going to be on the cartridge, showing that it's a Giga cart, that it's a bigger sized cartridge that has disc-based games on it. And there you go, right? So they have two Gigakart releases in 2024, and they look forward to sharing the fantastic games with you coming up, right? But I guess this was a little ahead of the announcement, because I put this out there when I seen it, that they are putting out a Tomb Raider collection. If you're not aware, Lara Croft is the number one iconic video game character of all time, according to BAFTA, anyway. But regardless of that, that's kind of nonsense funniness, but who cares? This is kind of cool. Tomb Raider collection, Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 on a Giga cart. Cartridge number 40. So I was never big into, the PS1 era Tomb Raider games, but hey, I may give them a shot, see if I can get into them, because it has been some years. And for this to be like a physical release of this is kind of cool. Like the physical, like there was no physical release of the Tomb Raider collection for the Switch, but like the Evercade gets one. That's a lot of people are going to be intrigued by that. I did see like a few comments, like from this guy Harvey right here. If they can somehow get the rights for Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, Soul Reaver, Defiance, I thought that would be badass, because this kind of opens up the floodgates of like, hey, if you can get some disc-based games, and why would they come up with this gigacart, indicator if there wasn't going to be more in the works possibly in the future? They did say there's going to be two of them. No idea what the second one is. I know the first one is going to be Tomb Raider collection, but I mean, for these guys, do you remember when when the Evercade first came out? I've enjoyed the Evercade, like I've said previously. I've not enjoyed every release from Evercade, but if you remember when it first came out, a good number of the cartridges, honestly, just be straight up honest, were, in my opinion, the easy licensed games, the collection of games that we've already seen all over the place, all over your face, as the ladies like to say. Stuff from Namco and what, just all those things, right? The games that we constantly were seeing on plug and play devices, retro re-releases, stuff like that. It was just the stuff that all these companies would just put out there. Like anybody could license and put it on a device, a little handheld or miniature arcade machine type of thing. But over the years, Evercade has been getting more and more like big releases, licensed to big releases. And this is definitely cool. I'm not the biggest Tomb Raider fan in the world, but I still see the importance and significance of this. This is pretty damn big, opening up the possibility for the future with these gigacarts and larger games, disc-based games. I really hope like one of my like I already know there's plenty of people out there who just don't care about the Evercade. They know it's emulation, but it's a neat way, in my opinion, to like have a physical collection of retro games that are officially licensed and still have that nostalgic feel of like taking a cartridge and putting it in something. I know that sounds weird to I don't know, a lot of people, but there's a lot of people who also understand what like they can relate. I love emulation. I do. It's accessible. It's free in most cases, but to physically have something to insert, like it just feels different. Like you're interacting with the object, and it kind of brings you back to, you know, if you grew up back in the 80s, 90s, you know, with these retro games, it kind of brings you back to that. That's why I do like a mix of all different types of retro games, ways of playing retro games, emulation, original hardware, FPGA based gaming, the Evercade, where it's a combination of emulation officially with physical cartridges. I just think like it's cool. It's neat. Not going to be for everyone, but I would love to see this to be expanded to maybe even Neo Geo CD. That would be freaking huge, man. If SNK partnered with these guys, put out like like what would be the best way to go about that though? A Neo Geo collection, because Neo Geo there's so many damn fighting games for it, but like I would think like Metal Slug collection, boom, you know, Samurai Showdown collection, boom, do like Neo Geo CD. You know, maybe I don't know if they'd have to be Giga carts though, because you do Neo Geo CD and then AES or MVS releases combined, or just do Neo Geo CD collection. I don't know. Like it opens it up for the possibility of the future here with all these bigger, you know, licenses that these guys have been getting. And I think it's interesting. But yeah, I posted this earlier because I was made aware of it. I even pre-ordered it just because I don't know if they'll send me every cartridge that comes out for purpose review, but I pre-ordered it just in case. But yeah, like boom, I pre-ordered it. You know, this is like, hey, the cover looks fake or at least temporary. I just think it, you know, it was an official listing. Didn't look fake to me. It was an actual listing, so yeah. But a lot of people are interested. I just barely posted this not even an hour ago, but they shortly after I posted it, it was taken down. The listing on Amazon was taken down, so I guess it was a little too early. A little too early, but I thought it was interesting. Thought it was something neat that was going on with this whole Giga Cart thing. But yeah, it looks like Tomb Raider Collection 1. So is there going to be more? But then I wonder what's the second Gigacart going to be? Is it going to be more PlayStation games? Or are they going to venture out into something like Sega Dreamcast? Can the Evercade play Dreamcast games? I don't know. I mean, like more demanding Dreamcast games? That would be awesome if they could get like a Sega cartridge, you know, Dreamcast Gigacart collection. Bam. But yeah, you know, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Like, I've seen some people like, hey, I'm actually interested in Evercade now, seeing some of these latest releases, and it's a good thing for, you know, Evercade. And you know, everybody's going to think differently. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Bye.